Good morning, good morning. Let's begin. So let's begin seated this morning, so you can just find a comfortable seat, whether that's in Sukhasana, one shin in front of the other, or if you want to sit on a block or a bolster or anything like that, that's fine as well. And then just take the flesh of your bottom and kind of scooch it out so that you're sitting right on top of your sit bones, so that you can straighten your spine as much as possible. And then let your hands rest by your sides or on your thighs or even at your heart if that feels more comfortable. Soften and close your eyes. And let's take a big breath in through your nose. And let it go through your mouth. And again, inhale. Let it go. And then one more, biggest breath. Inhale in through the nose. And then hold it at the top. Take a little bit more in, a little bit more. Through the mouth, exhale. Gently seal your lips. And begin your Ujjayi breath smooth and even, in and out through your nose. Let the narrowing of your throat create that gentle ocean wave-like sound. And then start to balance the length of your inhales with the length of your exhales. On your next breath, exhale everything completely so you find a place of empty and then pause. Inhale just 1/3 of your breath and pause again. Inhale 2/3 and pause. Inhale, fill all the way up to your top and then hold. Through the nose, exhale, release. All the way to empty and pause. And again, inhale just 1/3. Inhale 2/3. Inhale completely. Through the nose, exhale, release. All the way to empty and pause. And then again, inhale 1/3. Inhale 2/3. Inhale, fill up. Through the nose, let go. And go ahead and do that 2 more rounds on your own. After your second round, take a full breath in and a full breath out. Settle back into a comfortable pace for your Ujjayi breath, finding the balance between your inhales and your exhales. Bring your palms to your heart space if they're not there already. And then up to your third eye, bowing within. And then if you haven't already started your playlist, go ahead and start it now. And then we'll take an inhale, stretch your arms overhead, grow really, really tall from the base of your sit bones up through your fingertips. And then exhale, side bend towards the opposite side of your leg. So whatever leg is crossed in front, you're going to go the opposite side. And then take a big side bend over to the side. Bend your bottom elbow any amount so that you can really lengthen through this side. And then ground through your outer hip and gaze underneath your arm. Lengthen. And then rotate yourself inward so that you end up reaching both hands out at a diagonal shape. And then continue pressing your outer hip on your right side or whatever side is in front, down. One more breath. And then just crawl your hands forward. So stay low and walk your hands as far forward in front of you as is comfortable. And then relax your head down. Take 2 breaths here. And then stay low, walk your hands over towards the opposite side. So now you're in the same direction as the front leg. And then walk the hands in, but stay rotated towards that side. So you're rotating towards the front leg. Take your opposite hand towards your outer thigh, and then the other hand just rests behind your back. Take a full breath in as you sit up nice and tall, and then exhale to twist. Rotate from the spine and walk your gaze behind you. Take another full breath, get a little bit longer, and then exhale a little deeper. Unravel your twist, come back to center and simply switch your legs. We'll take whatever shin wasn't in front now. So in Sukhasana, you just have one shin in front of the other. Again, make sure that you're sitting nice and tall onto your sit bones. And then take an inhale, grow tall, reach your arms overhead. And then this time, let's bend the elbows and find a cactus shape first. Squeeze the shoulders behind you, broaden through your collarbones. Couple more of those. Breathe in, grow really, really tall. And then exhale a little bit more. Imagine widening the space where your collarbones are, hugging the shoulders back behind you. And then once more, breathe in. And then exhale, cactus shape, widen, drop the shoulders, breathe. And then inhale, take 2 arms, reach them towards the sky, and then we'll take the side bend to the other side. So you're moving away from your front leg, the bottom hand comes to your mat, bend your bottom elbow any amount, and lengthen through your side body. Continue pressing your outer hip down into your mat, and then gaze underneath your top arm for a full breath in, and a deep breath out. And then just rotate yourself down towards your mat. Walk your hands out at a diagonal shape and keep pressing your outer hip down into your mat. Couple of breaths. And then stay low. Walk both hands forward so you're walking them out in front of you. And continue grounding through your sit bones so that you get the full length in your lower back. And then again, stay low, walk the hands over to the opposite side, pause here. And then we'll stack the torso upright, but keep the rotation in the body. So your opposite hand comes across your body towards the front leg, and then the other hand comes just behind you. Inhale, breathe the spine really tall and straight. Exhale, rotate, gaze over your back shoulder. And then again, a little taller with a breath in. And a little deeper with your twist. And one more like that. Inhale. And exhale. And then unravel, come all the way back to center. And then just sweep your legs around you and then come to hands and knees. Let the palms be right underneath your shoulders and your knees come right underneath your hips. And then take an inhale as your belly drops towards your mat and you lift your gaze up towards your ceiling. Broaden through your collarbones, lift through the tail. And then exhale, belly pulls in to round your back, dome your upper back. And let's come up onto the fingertips so you can really push the ground away and get that stretch in the back. Couple more like that. Flatten the palms, lift your chest. Exhale, round your back. Come up onto the fingertips and stretch a little further. One more like that. Breathe in. And breathe out. And then come back to center, flatten both palms. Move your right palm under your nose and take your left arm up towards the sky. Open twist. And then thread your needle. Thread the left arm underneath your right. Your shoulder and your head come to your mat. And then you'll press your right hand down and twist your gaze up. And if it's comfortable for you, you can extend your right leg to the side. You might even choose to wrap your top arm behind your back. One more breath. Breathe into your back ribs. And then release two hands, come back to your mat. Go ahead and bring your leg back to center, and then we'll simply switch sides. So it'll be the left hand that comes under your nose, and the right hand reaches up towards the sky. Pause for a moment, open twist. And then thread the needle. The arm comes underneath your shoulder, you drop your head, and then plant your left hand and twist your gaze up. Extend your left leg out to the side. And then you might choose to wrap your top arm behind your back. One more full round of breath. Breathe into your back ribs. And then unravel, plant two hands down onto your mat, and then two knees onto your mat. Do a side bend. Bring your gaze over towards your right hip. And then return to center, and then gaze towards your left. And then come back to center. Let your toes tuck under where they are. Let your knees just hover off of your mat. A couple of inches. Pause for 3, 2, and then 1. Lift your hips towards the sky and press all the way back to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. We'll take 3 breaths, so feel free to just stay and hold the pose. Or you can pedal your feet. One heel down as the opposite knee bends and move back and forth. And then stretch both heels towards your mat. Push the ground away with your hands so your weight comes into your feet. Inhale as we lift the heels and bend the knees. Either hop your feet to meet your hands or walk your feet to meet your hands. And then once you get there, widen your feet to about hip width, maybe slightly wider. Hang over your thighs and interlace your forearms. Do a soft sway from side to side. Maybe you shake your head, yes and no. Release your hands towards your mat. Bring your feet either all the way together or close together. And then soften your knees to roll yourself all the way to stand. Take your arms overhead with a full breath in. Exhale, gather your hands together at your heart space. Inhale, stretch overhead, pause. Exhale, forward fold down to your feet. Inhale, come up halfway, reach the chest through the arms. And then exhale, bend the knees and plant your palms and step to high plank and just pause. Firm the belly on all sides, reach the chest forward, and then hold, breathe in, breathe out. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath, press your thigh bones up to the ceiling, involve your legs. And then shift your weight forward, lower yourself all the way onto your belly. Untuck your toes, widen your hands just outside of your mat, and then lift the heels of the hands so you're on your fingertips again. Press yourself up to any amount of cobra, so that could be a little or a lot. And then drop your right shoulder as you gaze left. Inhale, press back to center. Drop your left shoulder, gaze right. Again, inhale, center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center, and one more left. And then inhale, center, lift as high as your body's comfortable going right now. Exhale, lower all the way down to your mat. Plant your palms in line with your ribs. Tuck your toes under and lift your thigh bones. Press up to plank first. And then to downward facing dog, lift your hips. Take 3 rounds of breath. Smooth and deep. Even and full. And then on your next breath, take an inhale as we lift the heels, bend your knees, hop or walk, feet come forward. Halfway lift, lengthen, fold, exhale. Rise and stand, inhale. Bring your hands to your heart, exhale. And again, inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale as you fold. Inhale, come up halfway. And then this time through your float, the hands come down, the feet step back, you lower through. Inhale, lift your chest a little or a lot. You can press to any amount of cobra or a full upward facing dog. And then exhale, the belly pulls in to lift your hips. Go back to downward facing dog. 3 rounds of breath. Bottom of your third, lift the heels, bend the knees. Hop or walk, feet come forward. Half lift, inhale. Fold, exhale. Rise up, inhale. Gather your hands together, exhale. And then one more time to get us to downward facing dog. Take a breath in, reach up, lengthen. Exhale as you fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. And then exhale, plant the palms and flow. The hands come down, the feet go back. You bend the elbows to lower halfway or all the way. Inhale, lift your chest a little or a lot. Broaden through your heart. And then exhale, the hips go back and you move to downward facing dog. Full breath in, deep breath out. And again. Take an inhale, lift your right leg towards the sky, bend your knee, open through your hip. Do some wiggling of your toes, your ankles, and your knees. Exhale to square your hip off and step your foot all the way through between your hands. Go ahead and drop your back knee down. So you may choose to have a block on the inside of your foot, or you can keep the hand there. Take your right hand to your right hip, drop your hip down, and then twist over to your right side. You can free the arm up towards the sky. And then release. 2 hands frame your foot. So again, you can keep the block nearby if needed, and you'll straighten your front leg and pick up your toes for a half splits. So if you're using the block, if you have 2, 1 will be on either side of the foot. If you only have 1, place it on the inside and put 2 hands on it. Flex your toes towards your nose and pull the right thigh bone back and lengthen your tailbone out. You have 2 rounds of breath. And then you'll stay right here. Just rotate your top thigh to the right, so you end up trying to bring your pinky toes towards your mat. So it'll look like this. Keep lengthening your tailbone back. Keep reaching your chest forward. And we're just moving the stretch from the back of the hamstring to the lateral part of your hamstring. You have 1 more breath. Return your toes back to center and then re-bend your knee so you can plant both palms flat. Lift your back knee off of your mat and then lift your back leg up towards the sky for standing splits. Come up halfway just to find length in your spine. Exhale, fold and round into your standing leg. You can stay right here with 2 hands on your mat. You can put your hands on blocks if that's more comfortable, or bring one or both hands to your standing ankle. Breathe in and out. One more breath. Release the 2 hands back to your mat. Left foot comes to meet your right. 2 feet are at the top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold again, exhale. Bend your knees, sit into chair pose. Reach your arms overhead, lengthen. And then press all the way to stand. Gather your hands together at your heart. Inhale, reach up, grow tall. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, your choice of vinyasa. Hands come down, feet go back, lower through. Inhale, press your chest up. Exhale, press your hips back. And then take a breath in as you lift your left leg towards the sky. Bend your knee, open your hip, do the wiggling of your toes, your ankles, and your knees. Square your hip off and step your foot all the way through between your hands. Drop your back knee. It'll be the left hand that's on the inside of the leg, with or without a block. And then bring the left hand to your left hip. And we want to ground your left thigh bone down so that you can really get some rotation in your torso. If that's going well, you'll take the left arm and stretch it up. Full breath in. Full breath out. Release 2 hands. So the 2 hands can come on either side of the front foot, or if you're using a block, the 2 hands are just on the inside of the foot. Straighten your front leg and pick up your toes. So what we want to avoid is this kind of rounded shape that tends to make things a little easier for the hamstring. So try and really lengthen out your spine. Pull the left sit bone back and be mindful of locking out your front knee. 2 breaths before we rotate the leg. And then keep everything the same. Just rotate from the top of your thigh so your pinky toe comes towards the outer edge of your mat. You're still pulling the left hip bone back. You're still reaching your chest forward. You're still breathing completely in and out through the lungs. One more inhale. One more exhale. And then return. Bring your toes back to face the ceiling. Rebend your knee so the foot comes flat and ditch your block if you have it. Hands come forward. Lift your back knee first and then lift your whole right leg next. Halfway lift to lengthen in your spine and then exhale any amount of fold towards your standing leg. Hands can stay on your mat, on your blocks, or walk one or both hands to your standing ankle. One more breath. Hands to the mat if they're not already there. Right foot comes to meet the left. Inhale, halfway lift. Create some space. Exhale, fold and round into your legs. Bend your knees, sit into chair pose. Thighs lower, arms lift. And then press all the way to stand and gather your hands together at your heart. Inhale, reach up and lengthen. Exhale as you fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. Your choice of flow to get you to downward facing dog. Come halfway down, come all the way down. Inhale a little or a lot of a lift in your chest. And then exhale, the hips go all the way back to downward facing dog. Full round of breath. And And then take an inhale, lift your right leg towards the sky. Keep it straight and keep it square. Bring your knee in to touch your nose. Come to high plank. And then lightly step your foot forward and through between your hands. Swivel your back heel down. And then take that block, if you have it, on the inside of your right foot. Plant your hand there if you don't have one. And then bend deeply into your front knee. Lift your left arm towards the sky for a hot triangle, or Utthita Parsvakonasana. We're calling this one B. Stay as you are. Just turn your top hand to face back so your thumb is facing the ground. And then wrap the arm back behind your back. You might grab a hold of your front thigh. Pull the top shoulder back. And then inhale, free the top arm up towards the ceiling. Rotate yourself down. So you end up with the same warrior two legs. You're just going to walk your hands out at a diagonal. Keep pushing your right thigh bone back as you walk your hands out towards the front left corner of your mat. And the legs stay the same. Draw the belly in and rise all the way up. Find warrior two. Expand your arms to the side. Keep the legs. Reverse your arms. Take your right arm up and your left arm back. Big side bend into your body. And then inhale as you straighten two legs. Bring the hands to your hips. Spin all of your toes to face the long edge of your mat. And then reach back and interlace your fingers behind your body. Straighten your arms, open your chest. And then exhale, fold, hinging at your hips. Take your arms and lift them as high off of your bottom as you can get. And then release. Two hands come to your mat, come up halfway. Plant the right palm underneath your nose and take your left arm up towards the sky, open twist. Keep drawing your left hip back so that you lengthen through both sides of your obliques. And then release. Left hand comes under your nose and reach your right arm towards the sky. Release two hands to your mat and then look towards the top of your mat. Walk all of your hands to face the front of the mat and then spin all of your toes to face the front of the mat. Bend your front knee quite a bit and then go back to that standing splits shape. You're shifting your weight forward. Lift your left leg. Now this time you can choose to just stay right here, or you can bend your top knee and grab a hold of the foot with the right hand. Once you get a hold of it, then start to lift your knee up towards the ceiling just a little bit more. You have 2 rounds of breath. One more. Let go of your foot, plant your foot to meet your right, and then inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Chair pose, Utkatasana, bend your knees, reach your arms high towards the sky. And then press all the way to stand and gather your hands together at your heart. And again, inhale, lift and lengthen, breathe tall. Exhale, hinge and fold. Half lift, inhale. And then exhale to flow. The hands come down and the feet go back. Inhale, any amount of lift in your chest. And then exhale, the hips press all the way back. One breath. And then inhale, pick up your left leg up towards the ceiling. Keep it straight, keep it square. Exhale, step your foot all the way through between your hands and swivel your back heel down. I'm going to just turn around. The block comes on the inside of the foot if you're using it. If not, it's your hand that goes there. Left hand on the block. And then you spin your chest open, lift your right arm towards the sky. So this again is your hot triangle, or Utthita Parsvakonasana B. Lift your gaze towards your top hand. You have 2 rounds of breath. take your top hand and spin the palm backwards so that your thumb is facing your feet. Wrap the arm behind your back, and you might grab a hold of your front thigh. Pull your top shoulder back and lift your gaze up and over your top arm. Inhale, free the arm back towards the ceiling, and then rotate yourself down. Walk your hands towards the front right corner of your mat now. While you're still pushing your left knee back and out. So the knee still faces towards the short end of your mat as you're reaching towards the corner. So we're looking for some stretch in your outer hip on the left leg. And then take your time to walk your hands in, draw the belly in, and roll yourself all the way up to find warrior two. Expand your arms to the side. You have 2 rounds of breath here. Legs stay as they are. Reverse your arms. Left hand reaches high, right hand reaches low, side bend. And then inhale as you rise and stand, straighten out both legs, spin all of your toes to face the long edge of your mat. Inhale, breathe your chest up, and then exhale as you fold. This time, walk your hands back so that your fingertips are as close to in line with your toe tips as is comfortable for your body. And then lengthen your spine, bend your elbows to start to deepen into the stretch. Imagine hugging your elbows towards your midline and reaching your sternum towards the floor. Inhale, come up halfway, and then give your toes a little bit of a turnout. Bend your right knee and sit down into Skandasana. Lift your left toes. If this doesn't work well for you, let's go into a side lunge instead. So you can keep your body weight more lifted, and you can bring your hands to your thighs or your hips. So either this option or this option. Hands can stay on your mat or challenge your balance by bringing your hands to your heart. Full round of breath in. Deep breath out. One more. And then we're shifting sides. Shift your sides by either planting your hands onto your mat for support or keeping them at your heart to challenge your balance. Shift your weight to your left and lift your right toes. And then again, think about drawing the pelvis up and in. Hands can stay here, they can rest on the ground, or that side lunge is there for you as well. Plant your hands down if they're not there already. Walk yourself towards the top of your mat. Spin all of your toes to face the top of your mat. Shift your weight forward, and then we'll take the right leg and lift it up towards the ceiling. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. So if you're staying and working on stability, great. If you went for the bind on the other side, bend your right knee, capture the foot with the left hand, and then once you get a hold of it, reach your knee back up towards the ceiling. One more full breath. Release your foot, send it high towards the ceiling. Exhale, ground 2 feet together at the top of your mat. Halfway lift with a breath in. Fold, exhale. Utkatasana chair pose, knees are bent, arms are high. And then press all the way to stand and gather your hands together at your heart space. Stay at the top of your mat and bend both knees, again finding that chair pose. And then let's wrap the right arm underneath your left. Either hug yourself. Actually, let's all start here. Just give yourself a big hug and bring your elbows forward and imagine pulling the space between the shoulder blades open. Keep the upper back open as you release and bring the two backs of the hands together. If you're feeling open enough in your shoulders to find the full wrap, go ahead and do so. Lift your fingertips towards the sky and then add the legs. Right leg comes up and over your left. Either tap your toes down or wrap your toes behind. Breathe deep. One more. And then we're unraveling just the leg. Keep your arms as they are. Send your right heel forward and lift your leg as high as your hips. Hold it here for 3, for 2, and 1. Bend your knee, send the leg back behind you. You're going towards warrior 3 with eagle arms. Stay balanced, stay strong, lift the leg. 3, 2, and then 1. 2 feet come together, rise and stand, unravel the arms, 2 arms lift up, full breath in, and then right into the other side. The left arm comes under the right. Start with the hug. Hug yourself. Bring the backs of the shoulder blades open, lift your elbows up. And then either stick with this or bring the backs of the hands together, or find the full wrap of the wrists. Lift your fingertips up. Sit down into your chair. Add the legs. Left leg comes up and over your right. Either tap your toes down for support or wrap your toes behind your calf. Breathe steady for 3, for 2. And then on your 1, unravel just the leg and send the heel forward. So you're trying to lift the leg as high as your hip is. Stay grounded on your standing leg. Hold it. Breathe. 3, 2, and 1. Bend your knee and send the leg back behind you. So you're coming to warrior 3 with your legs, but you still have your eagle arms. Roll the left hip down so it's level with your right. Reach through the fingertips. Hold it. Breathe. 3, 2, and then 1. Bring the 2 feet together, rise and stand. Inhale, unfold the arms, reach them towards the sky. Cactus with the arms, bend your elbows. Open your chest, drop the shoulders down. 1 full breath in this shape. And then inhale, rise and stand. Exhale as you fold. Hands come to your mat. Wiggle your feet to be about mat width, and then squat. If you have a block nearby, go ahead and sit on it if you're more comfortable there. If not, no block, no worries. Hands to your heart. Encourage your knees to widen and encourage your chest to pull through the arms. You have 2 rounds of breath here. So here's where you guys have a few options to play with. You're welcome to stay right here and focus on opening up your hips, or you can move into your side bends. So the right hand will start on the inside of your right foot. You'll breathe the left hand up. There might be a half bind there. So we'll do that for a couple of breaths. Or if you're working on Bakasana crow pose, you'll plant your palms down right about shoulder height. Lift your hips. Snuggle your knees into your armpits. And then lift your feet off of your mat, one at a time or both together. Bring your feet towards your bottom. Look forward past your nose. You have a few rounds of breath to either play with that or work on your side bend. I'm going to stick here with the side bend. Left hand. And reach up. There might be a half bind with it. Take 2 to 3 more breaths with whatever you're working on. And then whatever you have, come back to this Malasana shape. So you're seated into the squat with or without a block, and then you can come to a nice fold. So you're just going to walk your hands forward any amount, bow your head. then walk your hands in. So option 1 is just to step back to high plank and then lower to your belly. Option 2, if you're playing with that crow jump back, you want to draw the belly in so much that your feet just jump back and you bend your elbows at the same time. So, looks something. And then press up. But this time we're just going to lay back down. So everybody meets on their bellies. And then from here you'll widen your arms. Let's go to cactus. So cactus is a little bit more intense of a shoulder opener than the straight arm T version. So option 1 is here, 2 is cactus. And then you'll roll to your right side, bend your left knee. Left hand presses into your mat, and then you spin your gaze towards the ceiling. Let it go and switch. Cactus or straight arm. And come all the way back onto your belly. From here, the hands come into like a cactus shape. Bend your knees up and flex your feet and press your feet up to the ceiling. So you're trying to lift the knees off of your mat. Lift your upper arms, your shoulders, your upper body. Lower softly down, look over at one side, and then draw circles on the ceiling with your feet. Come back to that same shape with your legs. Push your feet into the ceiling. You can either lift again with those cactus arms for a skydiver shape or reach back and grab a hold of your ankles. If you have your ankles, squeeze the knees and the feet together. Press your feet into the ceiling. Pull your chest open. Lower softly down. Look over at whatever side feels like it should be next. And again, draw those circles again on the ceiling. Straighten your legs, plant your palms under your chest, press up and back into child's pose. And then take an inhale as you rise up to hands and knees. And step your right foot forward again. So let's go back to that lunge shape. I'm going to spin around. Your lunge shape, you want to put the block, again, if you have it, on the inside of the foot. If not, then it's the left hand that goes there. And then go back into that twist. Right hand can start on the hip, and you'll draw the thigh bone down. Spin your chest wide and open. If you're feeling enough sensation in this shape, go ahead and just stay right here. If you're going for more, you'll bend the knee and grab your foot. Only, the difference is you want to back your bottom up to touch the heel. And make sure you're above the kneecap on your back leg, and then sink the hips forward. Keep the knee, or keep the foot and the bottom connected. Keep the chest spinning open, and keep your right hip grounded down. 2 rounds of breath. Let go of your foot, back out of your hips, rotate yourself to center. So we're going to Hanumanasana or half Hanumanasana, your choice. You'll straighten your front leg, the hands come to your mat. Again, if you have one block, you'll take the hands to the block on the inside. If you have 2, one hand on either side. So start in this shape if this feels right for you. If you're going further from here, you can actually stick the block underneath. I like to put it underneath my hamstring just above the knee. And then once you're here, pull your right thigh bone back, breathe your chest forward, and try and lift your chest as much as you can. Let's take another 3 breaths. either in the half splits or the full splits. Okay, to come out, if you're in the half splits, just gently back out and bend your front knee. If you're in the full splits, try and push your hands into the mat to lift your pelvis up and then slide the leg back. So we're going to come to hands and knees. The hands come down and you set the knees back, except the right foot that was forward is now going to go back. And you're just going to draw really big circles on the ceiling or on the wall with your knee. And then straighten your right leg. Take your right foot to the left side of your mat so you're crossing it behind you. Square your hips down and then side bend to your left side. Return the torso to center, pick up the leg, and then drop the knee. So we'll switch sides. You'll take your left foot forward. Find the lunge shape first. Block comes on the inside of the foot. If you're using it, if not, it's the right hand that goes on the inside of the foot. Bend deeply into the front knee, and then start to twist. You can start by making sure that the hips are nice and level. Left hand to left thigh bone, push down, spin open. And then either reach back and grab your foot, or the deepest version, you'll back your bottom up to touch your heel, and then keep the bottom and the heel connected as you move forward again. Spin the chest open, full rounds of breath. Release your foot, rotate your torso back to center, and then we're going to half splits or full splits. So half splits again, one block is on the inside, 2 blocks, one on each side. So we'll stay here for a breath. And then either continue or moving into full splits. So you'll inch the foot forward, keep the hips facing forward as you do. You can place the block underneath your thigh bone, so it's above the knee on your thigh. But keep thinking about this right thigh bone drawing back so that you neutralize in the hip bones. Take 2 rounds of breath. And after your second round, if you feel like there's space been created, you can scooch your right knee back another half a step. So if you're in a half split, you'll just back your bottom up and then bend the knee. If you're in a full split, push into your mat to lift your pelvis up, scooch the knee back. So we're going to hands and knees, but the left leg then will come up. And then draw really big circles with your right knee, or your left knee, sorry. Reverse. Straighten your leg. Take the left foot to the right side of your mat, tuck your toes, and then a big side bend over to your right hip. Return back to neutral and pick up your leg and then drop the knee. 2 knees are on your mat. So since we all have at least one block, go ahead and take it and stick it in between your feet. And then sit down. So we're going to Virasana to open up the tops of our hips and our thighs. Bring your knees all the way together. And then encourage the knees to come down. Draw your pelvis under. So you're trying to ground the sit bone down and then lift from your chest here. If this is enough sensation, you stay right here in this shape. If you're going further from here, the hands can walk back, but stop before the knees want to lift off of your mat. Keep them grounded. Keep the tail scooped under, keep the chest open. Go as far as your forearms if you're on your block. If you don't need the block, if your bottom can touch the ground, feel free to ditch the block and go all the way to your back. Whatever shape you have, let's take 2 rounds of breath here. Breathe fully in and deeply out. One more. And then take your time to walk yourself all the way back up. Come back to hands and knees. Take your right foot, tuck your toes under and press back through the heel to counter stretch the feet. And then switch the legs. Step your left foot back, press back through the heel. And switch again to your right and to your left. And then have a seat to one hip. Bring your legs around in front of you. And then from here, take the flush of your bottom and just scooch it back a bit. Bend your knees. And then pick up your chest, bring your belly to touch your thighs. So you want to keep as long of a spine as you can, and then the hands reach forward. If you're feeling enough sensation here and here, you're going to stay right here. If you're feeling like you're ready for more, the hands might grab a hold of your feet, and then start to straighten your legs, but stop when your belly and your thighs separate. So you want to keep that connection so that you keep the stretch moving through the whole back side of the body. Inhale, breathe your sternum, the top of your chest forward. And then exhale, you bow your head. Take 2 more full rounds of breath, lengthening with your inhales and then relaxing into the stretch with your exhale. And again, take your time to roll yourself all the way up to a seat. Plant your hands behind you. Fingertips are facing your bottom or they're slightly turned out to allow for room in your shoulders. Bend your knees, flatten your feet, and then press up into a reverse table. Relax your head all the way back. Try and get your bottom as high as your knees are and give your tail a scoop and pull the belly in. Full breath into the chest. Lower the hips all the way down, and then keep a block nearby you as you lower yourself all the way onto your mat. Grab your block, push down into your feet, lift your hips, and slip the block underneath your pelvis for a supported bridge pose. Tuck your shoulders underneath you, relax your arms. So keeping the block at the medium level. So if you have it on the highest level, go ahead and come back down to the medium or even the lowest level. So the lowest level would be down here. So low or medium, shoulders are underneath the body. Take your right foot and send it straight up to the ceiling. Flex the foot and try and push the ceiling away from you. Bend your right knee, take the ankle over the knee, and open your right knee to the side. Inhale, press the leg all the way back up. And then exhale, return your foot to your mat. Readjust anything that needs to be readjusted. And then we switch. Keep the right foot grounded. Press your left foot up. And imagine pushing the ceiling away from you. Bend your left knee. Take the ankle over the knee and open the knee to the side. Inhale, press your leg back up towards the ceiling, pause, and then return both feet to your mat. Take an inhale, and then exhale, push into your feet, lift your hips, take your block down to the lowest level if it isn't already there. Push down with your feet, lift your hips, slip the block out completely, and lower yourself all the way down onto your back. And then from here, widen your feet to about mat width and sway your legs from side to side. And then once the legs fall over to your right side, let them stay there. And then take this into your favorite twist. You can stay with this open shape and take the right foot on top of your left thigh, or you can take your left leg on top of the right leg. Either way, open out your arms and take your gaze to your left side. And breathe into your side ribs here. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath. Uncross the legs, bring yourself all the way back to center, and then again we switch. So fall the legs over to your left. Option one is that open twist, left foot on top of right knee, or the closed twist, you'll take your whole right leg on top of your left. Open out your arms and gaze to your right side. Breathe into your side ribs, full breaths. And then take your time to come all the way back to center. Bring both knees into your chest and give them a nice squeeze. Open your knees nice and wide. Lift your feet onto the ceiling for happy baby pose. You can sway a little bit from side to side. You can straighten your legs one at a time if you like. Then bring your feet together. Let your hands grab the outsides of your arches of your feet, and then hug your heels towards your groin and press your sit bones and your tailbone down into your mat. Keep your feet together, but release your hands from your feet. And then just let the feet drop down. Let the knees fall open into a Baddha Konasana shape. Let your arms relax by your sides. And then soften and close your eyes. We'll take about 3 rounds of breath here. And then when you're ready, you're welcome to stay in this shape for your final resting pose, or if you'd like to straighten your legs to traditional Shavasana, feel free. Eyes are closed, breath softens, and mind lets go. Let yourself find a place of stillness, of silence, where you're in your place of peace. If you're able to continue resting, please stay as long as you can. If you're ready to come back, start with small movements in your hands and your feet. Slightly deepen your breath. Stretch like you just woke up today. And then bend both knees and roll over to one side, your favorite side. And then gently press yourself up to a comfortable seat with eyes closed. Hands can come back together in front of your heart space, or they can rest down by your thighs. And once more, come back to your soothing, full breath in, balanced breath out. Hands come together at your heart, and then up to your third eye. Thank you all so much for being here today, for sharing your beautiful energy, and for sharing your beautiful practice. It's truly my honor to guide you. Namaste.